The first thing I would say about accountability is you need to claim your space, but you need to know when you've made mistakes. Claim your space, but own your mistakes. At the moment, I think everyone should be on OnlyFans. No, I'm joking. 90s. If me and you were rolling, you had to have the baddest finger wave and I had to have the baddest crochet.
Your style is your style, my style is your style, your style is I don't crew. Moving to Dubai. When it wasn't the Dubai as we know it.
Yeah, it was 2006.
What made you have that decision and go there?
People should be there to support, uplift you, even when you are being a complete nightmare.
Point of view, you don't need nothing. You don't need cat, dog, enhancement. You don't need nothing.
It's me. That's the first thing. So let's cheers to this year. Love, peace, and joy. Thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Also You Wanna Talk. I would like to say thank you to everyone for sharing and subscribing. We're getting there. I was so overwhelmed in a couple of days of the amount of views and the comments and the constructive criticism. There was no bad criticism. I accepted it all. Very, very happy. So thank you again, everyone. Understanding, thank you. We're in the month of February. And instead of it being about relationships that much and about love and ups, downs, I thought I would take the topic today and be about self-love and accountability. Without accountability, for me, you can't really begin self-love or even start to receive a new love in a type of way. I'll explain a bit more. But having conversations with a few people and allowing them to ask me the conversations and receive them got me to this place. And this is what brought me to my guest today. My gym, my personal gym. I met my life coach, Millennial Coach, Sandra. I was introduced to you a few years ago now, I think going on probably about 18 months. We spoke on socials all the time and she always gave me a lot of encouragement, and she had a few things going on and I wasn't strong enough at the time because I was going through what I was going through. I wasn't able to reach out all the time, so there was gaps in between, but we really started talking and I just started watching her and her YouTube channels and seeing the topics that she's just freely to talk about. It was so good. And then I was well enough to go to your network event, Ignite network event. And I never really went to network events, but I knew I needed to step out the comfort zone and go back. I actually went by myself and I came and I was so happy I did, because it was such a turning point for me being at this network that I actually came at the house by myself. I got to this network event. There was amazing people doing great things and you will just never know. On a normal day, you could see these people walking past, being on the bus, on the train, wherever it is, and you just wouldn't know until you got into the room and you actually spoke to people. And then I started to learn about, investing in wines, seeing how people started businesses and one item. They can sell one item every 3 or 6 months if they wanted to and still be able to survive in a way. And it was just seeing my people as well and seeing that everyone came from a story and they came from somewhere. And yeah, it was really good. And then we started talking and then things have happened and I've happened to get to certain situations when I have to be on the phone and we're talking and, and then you ask me certain questions sometimes and it's I've always been a type of person to be I would just want people to be truthful and be real. And if they see that I'm sinking, be able to say, why are you moving like that? Or why do you think like that? Or don't think it could be that, it could stem from somewhere else. And the way it was sometimes I probably was talking negatively, I wasn't understanding something. By you asking me those questions, at that same second, I could oh, you made me think of something. And then even when I finish my conversation, I can reanalyze myself in a way. So yeah, you just being my life coach and introduced me to that new way of thinking. And then being able to know where you're coming from. Like, you telling me stories, you took your leadership and your risk and came out your comfort zone. I went to Dubai when there was no Dubai. And as a Nubian black woman, going to Dubai and having to deal with the highs and lows of all those things and still be able to come back and be who you are, I don't think I needed you to come on here to help you and let people know what you do.
Thank you.
And yeah, because people need to know who you are, what you're doing. Because you do a lot of great things. No, you really do. And knowing that you can just like pull things out of the hat. And it's when you want to do something, you let it happen and you create your events and you get like proper people in the room. It was so good to go in there. There weren't no like influencing people in the room. Everyone was doing something and something unique in a different way. It wasn't a same type of caliber of people. Or it was all different walks of life, and you're having conversations, and there's 5 different people having joining in a conversation and could all understand each other's points. Them things are very important to me because I don't conversate with people if I know that they're not going to teach me that, or they're not going to take me to another level. I don't show my talent to people like that. So yeah, you've been inviting me out was really, really good. So I always made sure, I had to repay you in some form of way. So introduce yourself.
Firstly, I want to say thank you. I think you're amazing. And I think that your journey inspires me. That's the first thing. So let's cheers to this year. Love, peace, and joy.
Thank you.
Okay, love. Before we start, everyone, let's have a quick sip.
Woo. That was needed a little.
So I am DA. I always spell it out for everyone. The Millennial Coach. I have been doing leadership coaching development for the last 12 years. And prior to that, I was working in the television industry. At the moment, I think everyone should be on OnlyFans. No, I'm joking. You know, I joke that I should have done an OnlyFans just for my toes, though, because I don't want to be putting my business out there.
There's a few people that's making it, right? Just with their total picture.
Honestly.
Yeah, so I was living nice.
But as you're talking about love and self-love, I just want to put out there, I am single and ready to mingle. So if there's anyone who's above 35, right, because anyone that's younger, I really won't be able to manage. But I am the Millennial Coach, and I've been doing a lot of leadership training, and I work from early years right up to people who are 65 or even beyond. I've been working and doing that across different broadcasters. So those of you that have watched, shows like I'm a Celebrity, I've worked with people who have worked on that, and Love Island and all sorts of different brands. So that's ITV. I've worked with people at Sky. My career, I started at CNN, and then I worked my way up. I worked for Billboard magazine, then I worked for a magazine called Drapers. I actually had the articles that I wrote. And I covered some fashion shows and stuff. So that was amazing, but I didn't want to go into fashion because I'm not very bitchy. So I don't want to get into an industry at that time where already being a black woman is a challenge, and you're working in TV and nobody wants to give you an opportunity. And fashion to me looked double of that challenge. Yeah, I have been working as an independent or freelance or contract, however you want to call it, with different companies. But I now am really going to go it alone. And my company's been set up. Obviously, you've got to pay tax. And honestly, sometimes I just wish I was in Ghana, where if you just smile at the government and you're like, hey, and yeah, I'll pay later. Yeah. So, but I am going full-fledged for this year. We're really pushing my company. My podcast is called The Core. My business is called Core Beginnings. And the reason I use the word core is because everything starts from the core.
Yeah.
So that's me.
Yes. So thank you again.
You're welcome.
And with accountability, speaking with you, making me having to hold accountability allowed me to take that extra time with myself. That's why I kind of, after speaking to you, like really analysing my intentions, understanding where some of my habits have come from or even stem from, understanding who I come from, the core I come from, the room
Let me tell you something. You're a Jamaican girl, right? I went to Jamaica for one of my birthdays. I'm not going to say what number because you'll all be shocked at my age. Everyone is always like, oh my God, you know, he will be here. But going to Bob Marley's house, I'm being serious now. There was a spiritual experience for me. And I went back to the hotel and I said to the girls, and I was just like, you've got such amazing people that come from Jamaica. And look, I'm not sitting here saying any country out of the UK or anywhere, even the UK is not easy anymore. But everyone's got their challenge.
Yeah.
But it's the question of, are you going to sit and, look, we can cry for a day. I'll give you a couple days even. But after 6 months, we can stay in our misery, or we can make a choice that, okay, I'm going to get better. It's not, life ain't easy.
And sometimes you're saying that, and I talk to some people from Jamaica sometimes that we can reason like with young artists sometimes, or just talking. And they get frustrated when I say certain things like that.
But you have to remember, people are not always ready.
They're not ready, and they get so offensive. And to me, I'm not saying it in a way of,
I get it.
you are the way you are. I'm saying it's 2025 and things and times is changing. So see if you feel like you could sit down in the same ways in your country and just be like, you know, just have the same old struggles, like you're saying, the same struggles that there's some like your great granny was talking about. You want to come with the same excuses in 2025. You
can't.
And you wouldn't even allow me to talk like that, you know, but I could eat for more than a week.
You know, one thing I've realized, right? Not everyone's the messenger. Same story, different package. So you might buy a product and I might think the same product is trash, but it works well for you.
Yes.
So it's the same with the message.
That's what I'm learning. When you're saying accountability,
just have a cleanup session. Are you all right? Since our last conversation, how do you feel? And is there anything that you want to express to me? You see, when they start doing high pitched voice, the fun of there's problem. So it's like when anyone goes,
even with me, like, I'm not even gonna lie, I've picked up on that a little bit sometimes now because of certain, just so I don't get in the situation. I'm good, man.
And then I'll be like, okay, you can your mistakes. When you, and sometimes we unintentionally hurt people, right? But the problem that we have as human beings, and this is human, right? We're not confident enough to say, Sarah, you know what? You upset me. So what, if you don't know, how can you do anything about it? So this is the thing about accountability, that it comes in two different strands.
I wanted to be that friend because I know I've done things.
Yeah, but you know what? Also, but self-awareness.
It's to receive.
But then you're with the wrong crowd. And I'll tell you why. When you're around people that, if they're the right people for you, they don't just hear you, they see you. If somebody phoned me yesterday and this man, like, you know, when you meet someone and you just fall in love with them, right? I know, like us too, right?
Just kidding.
He worked in a division for Motown and he's become my mentor.
Okay.
And he called me and he said to me a couple of days ago, and he said, are you okay? And because I suffer from endometriosis, right? And it's not fun when you're ill and all that. And the thing is, my energy goes down. I start to feel, it actually has an impact on my mental health because I start to feel negative. I said to him, I am physically okay. Because I said, yeah, I'm all right. And then he said, no. Are you? And then before he finished saying, he said, okay, so this is how I'm feeling. He said, I could have told you that you weren't okay. But because he hears and sees me, guess what happened after that conversation? We are going to be doing a project together. Because it's your integrity that balances accountability. And what happens is that when you're working with people, it's because the thing is, at the end of the day, no matter who you talk to, it's like if a guy's talking to you, right, and he knows you're single and you're a nice person, he is selling himself. So he's going to be advertising himself, right? But you're also advertising yourself if you like him, right? But what we fail to do is tell people about the things we're not good at or the things we struggle with. So when people take accountability, for me, that's a part of their integrity. So there was let me give you examples. So I've been working for charity and supporting their administration. I'm not a fan of doing administration. Like, you pay people to do that, right? But so there was a time that I had sent a message that said, "You people," it's just a term. I think it's even a very Ghanaian term or like West African term. When you're family, you're talking about all of you. Yes. Right.
Yeah.
But it's not that we're saying it to hurt you. We're just saying, "You people," that means all of you in that. But I wasn't meaning it to be offensive. So the guy that runs the charity is like, "What do you mean by that?" Da, da, da. And I said, "You know what? I actually read back my message, and I was thinking the message, first of all, doesn't even make sense. And how it sounds is just rude." So I sent a message to the group and I said, "I want to sincerely apologize to everybody because that was inappropriate." And then when we had a team meeting, I started and I opened the meeting with an apology to the whole group. Because the thing is, don't be saying to someone, "You need to be accountable," but you yourself, you're not accountable. I'm the kind of person, what I speak about is what I be about. And I will always tell you, if you're someone who continuously lives in a land of, not taking accountability, we will part ways and I will wish you the best of luck. Because you know something, people should be there to support, uplift you, even when you are being a complete nightmare. But if they know that it's just a small part of this bigger story, there's going to
Just who you are
at that time. There should be grace. I was surrounded. Yesterday, I cried, and I don't cry often. I was in this. I was doing something, and somebody said to me, "Why did you join the project?" And the reason I cried, last year was a tough year, because I hope I don't cry today. But last year was a tough year, and you had a tough year. We both had tough years last year, and there was times, even me doing my event, I wasn't in the best space. But the fact that I was able to uplift and elevate people, and now people are servicing each other's businesses and they're buying from each other, that was the intention of Ignite, to ignite conversations.
Yeah.
But I still had to push through. Even if people were unkind to me, the accountability to myself is, this year, I owe myself an apology. That's how I'm being accountable.
That was me last year, year before. I think like a couple of years ago, I went through that.
So what's new for you now?
Myself.
How do you stand in your accountability to yourself in this year?
This year, this is like such a fresh start, and I think because of like what happened at last year, and even coming to the end of the year and just feeling like I'm going for it. Remember, we sat down and then we spoke for hours, and I was just like, nothing's going to stop me. I don't care about this chaos. Nothing's going to stop me this time now, because I've taken accountability for all the wrongs I did from a teenager, for all the wrongs I did as a pre-adult, as an adult, and for even me, like, I still had to take accountability, even though in some situations, I actually feel like I was that type of way for a reason.
Absolutely.
Like when I was putting in my boundaries, I had to hurt people because I was putting in my boundaries. But I still had to take accountability that sometimes the way I delivered my boundaries or the way I went about it created a different atmosphere and created a different outcome. So I took all that accountability. So this time round, I am dealing with things accordingly. I know who's who. I know what's what. I know the limit of those. I know who to conversate with certain things. So like I said, like I gave myself a task 2 weeks ago. I completed it yesterday. And I did it without asking the same, like, I'm making moves in front of certain people and they're like, this next, you're not even asking me for help. I already know what you come with the help that I'm going to ask for. So I'm not asking. So you're involved. I'm not going to, it's not, oh, I'm doing something and not letting you know. And I'm just going to pop
But
up.
there's certain parts that only require you to show up.
Because I've learned that me as a person, you have me in that same way as well. So I've learned to not mirror, and it's not a tick for tat, but
you have to be discerning.
A mind 1,000,000,000%. So I sense, and I'm picking things up so quick that I can get this done, and I know that I don't have to ask. I can get this done. I don't have to call that one. That one don't need to know yet. We'll be involved next week. It's because I've noticed now that even though I've changed and I've made drastic changes, or like I said, taking accountability, it's still hard for some people to support. It's still hard to make them watch me do things.
Because it's new. And because it's new, it starts off quite painful, especially if the person you are becoming is the person they don't understand or they have not. There's no place for that person. There's no place for this new behavior yet because they haven't grown. And the thing is, one of the things with self-love and accountability is that you start being accountable to what feels good.
And then see, when you treat yourself and you do that self-love, you know how that makes you. Hey, you don't need no one to fuel you. You don't need nothing. You don't need man, cat, dog, enhancement. You don't need nothing. Just have that self-love and accountability, and you know that you can like zen through it, and you can meditate through the pain and accept what's happened, and know that you can just like get up and do this because this fuels me. I can eat this. I can put this on. I can just be here because it fuels me. Like that's why it was so important that when I came to your network event, it was good because I wasn't out socially that much yet in different environments. But it was intimate, but it still ticked all the boxes.
You know what, right? Let me just be really, really frank with you. Anybody that talks to me is because I allow it. People that come to the events, most of them are handpicked. People said, oh, you need, because I have a radio show on itchradio.com, right?
Yes.
And that is a coaching show for all of you. Like, so you can go on Mixcloud, DA, the Millennial Coach, and you'll see, I think I've got almost 100 shows. But I like to DJ as well. So there's everything, a bit of everything. So one week is Bashman, next week is Afrobeats, next week is pop. So it depends on the subject. But someone said, why don't you put it on your radio show? I said, no, because I know the type of people I want. And it's not a diss to the radio. What it is that we all have different types of friend groups, all of us. You got the ratchet friend group that you know when you need to turn up, they're the ones you call, right? You got the sophisticated group when you're out there and you're trying to better yourself.
Yeah.
You need to make sure when you're out with them that you represent, you dress well, you talk properly. Then you got your bush friends that you always want to, like, I'll talk in African accent, talking in Yadi accent. You know that they're not even just ratchet, they're just real.
Yeah. They accept who we are. And that's who we are, because that's where we come from. And why should we be like apologetic for it?
But let me tell you something, accountability. When you are authentic, when you show up as who you're destined to be, it's easy, it's soft, it's love, it's gentle, it's accepting, it's peace. That's what being authentic, having integrity and having accountability, that's what it feels like. When you can own your mistakes, you can apologize, and you can still talk to the person with absolute respect.
Because I've stated my point, and you should be, I'm sorry, I understand, I will try. It may take a little while because I have to learn that this is the new you, and it takes.
But you know, the other thing that I think people struggle with is to go back to that person and say, okay, it's been it may be a week or 2 weeks you haven't spoke. Before you even dive, this is one thing I think people don't do well. Before you dive into conversations, the last conversation is a bit testy or prickly. Ask them, let's just have a cleanup session. Are you all right? Since our last conversation, how do you feel? And is there anything that you want to express to me? You see, when they start doing high-pitched voice, that's one of those problems. So it's like, when anyone does,
Even with me, like, I'm not even gonna lie, I've picked up on that a little bit sometimes now because of certain, just so I don't get in a situation. I'm good, man.
And then I'll be like, okay, you can continue lying to yourself.
Yeah, when you're ready, you come and tell me.
Yeah.
But yeah, where before, I could have said, like, way before I even started accepting accountability, I would have been like, yeah, it isn't what it is. I said it and what?
Wow.
And
Okay. Okay. Why do you think you were like that?
I was like that because I wasn't always heard.
Right, okay.
I was always misinterpreted. So, how can I say?
So do you think you were being defensive?
Very.
Okay.
Very, very, very. Shut down. And I'm a one-man army girl. So I ain't got, because I know there's no one that's got me. I've only got me. I can be around 20 friends and I know they ain't got me the same.
I'm going to hold your hand for a minute to tell you why I'm here. And the reason I'm saying that, I want people to really take from today, strong people, we need you. We all need each other. And we need to know that other people are there for us. I cried yesterday, and 2 women just came around me and hugged me in a group of there was about 15 of us. And I think half the men were in the room. There was a lot of guys in there. And everyone was just like, oh, and they all gave me a hug after. But I felt protected for once. As a Black woman, I think that we're really hard because we don't feel safe.
Yes, and I've been brought up on survival, straight up. My mum's a strong woman. I watched my mum haze him the guy and build herself back up. And as much as I have issues with my mum, I always have to say, me watching her do that has made me know, you don't need a man, you don't need no one. For I learned that young watching my mum, that type of self-love. That's even having nothing and going somewhere and buying 3 pots and putting on a stove to now you run your own catering company word by mouth. Do you understand? Where there's not a week that she doesn't have a job. Now, she done that by word of mouth and she's still continually, 25 years later, still running that. No man ever gave that to her.
But let me ask you a question. How has that cost her? What has that cost her?
Not really, because she was that dependent and she actually...
No, but how kind is she to herself?
Right. This is where it gets.
That's what I'm saying.
This is why I had to break the cycle. I had to put boundaries in myself.
Right. So this is what I'm saying to you. It's cost her something.
It still costed her something.
So you said it didn't cost her.
No, because in a way, she's still happily married. She has a husband that helps her with stuff, but she doesn't now. She's done it for so long. She doesn't have enough self-love.
And the thing,
so she doesn't take time with herself. So she runs on adrenaline all the time. She can't stay inside. She can't sit down. Hot foot. Fire foot. Not even hot. 10 matches underneath that because as she works, she can't. Sometimes I'm like, Mum, you did? Oh, I did tell you, I'm flying out on Wednesday. Where? I'm just going to Dubai for a couple. I'll go to Mexico. Oh, we're going here. Well, she's never she works and she travels. She got no time sitting down with it. But sometimes I'm like, rest. Because you go on holiday and you're still not resting. You're still out. Your friend that's moved over to this country, you're gone over there, you're gone to do this. So she's very,
And the thing is, why I say what it's cost her is that it's taught you also to live in survival.
And that's not always a good
thing
sometimes.
When we're in survival, the moment we break, sometimes we get sick because our body doesn't know how to rest.
That's what cancer, that's why.
And I think when I met you...
Sit your ass down and take your time. Yeah.
The thing is...
You can't fix everyone's problems. You can't do it all. You're not the 100-man army that you think you are. You're 1-man army. You're not a 100-man army.
This is why we've got to stop being accountable to people out there and start being accountable to what's in here.
Thank you for letting me.
You feel me?
Bringing that up for me.
You feel me?
To get to that point.
Because you can't... The thing that we do is that we look, and I always say to parents, and I say this to men, so I hope you guys that, especially the fit ones, the fit ones that are single, I don't mind if we got kids. I'm going to advertise myself.
Love mum.
Yeah, I'm going to keep advertising myself. But the men that have children, one thing I say to men that have children is date your daughter. Take her out. If you got a young daughter, take her out and show her how a man should treat her.
Yeah.
Because she needs to learn to have accountability for what her life is going to look like. Because as parents, none of us are going to live forever. And someone said something to me, and I actually sat down and thought about it. He said, in 100 years from now, nobody on the planet is going to be alive. And I thought to myself, that's hard for me to take accountability on my own life. But also that speeds up the fact that I need to stop playing and I need
no procrastination. So that's why I said my accountability this year, there's no space for it. And I feel like I don't have nothing to lose anymore. And I feel like I've had all my practice runs, my trial and errors, but because I overcome that big accountability stuff is why I said I've been very intentional every month for what I spoke about. So even my last episode, it was leadership and stepping out your comfort zone, and coming from another place and changing that. As for a male to be vulnerable, we're able to speak about that. I'm being very intentional and having you on here because you taught me accountability. Now me, I lived in survival. I didn't think I was always right, but I was right with what I knew, what was right for me. So it came off as a bit stubborn or hard-headed or one-way thinking. No, because I learned that when I do it this way, I get my
Stuff done.
I get it done. Anytime I listen to someone else,
You know what?
somewhere else. But having to have partners and having children and growing up and having to you have to accept. No, you don't have to accept your parents. You don't. But I don't have a bad situation for me. Not.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I could still work through it. We still understand each other. I'm my mum's only daughter, so we're gonna clash. I'm gonna pick up my mum's ways that I don't like. I'm still gonna pick the ways that she don't like. I still gonna pick them up. And I've learned accountability. I can say that out of my mouth. A lot of people can't say that. A lot of people are mirroring their mums and they don't like their mums, but they do the exact same thing
their mum does.
and their mum doing. But because I can see it and I've taken accountability for it, I can adjust it. I don't have to beat her up for it. Because I can't expect, if my mum's been a certain way for all her life, who's me as a child to come tell her she must change? Life has to show her that I can't do that because that's me passing my place. So again, accountability, it makes everything much easier to accept and move forward with. And if you want to mature and you want to grow, you can map that out and push through it without it being so toxic and negative and just break the cycle, innit?
You know what's important though? I think one thing people need to take away, another thing people need to take away from this is what you resist will persist. So if you continuously, I don't like my mum, or I don't like these people, you're resisting it so much that it's going to keep showing up.
Yeah, until you learn how to.
One of the things about the universe or God or whoever, whatever your spiritual way of being is I've always believed from a young age, if you don't learn that lesson is going to keep coming back in different ways through different people to show you how to take accountability. Yeah, and you know something? We don't have time. We don't have time.
You're on here so early in the year. We don't have
time. And it's funny because one thing is changing. I work with a training provider, right? And when they will do their meetings, and because I was contract, I didn't care what you said. I just knew I was that dope or what I did. Because Ofsted, especially if we were doing certain educational programs, Ofsted, I had an Ofsted inspector told me to sign up to be an Ofsted inspector because she was so impressed with how I deliver training. I was thinking to myself, this is very interesting. However, they would every couple months they want to throw extra paperwork, and my response is, I ain't got time. So, and then one of the other people said to me, you know what I like about you? You make it clear. I said, because I'm not going to do it. The thing is, you're adding paperwork because you don't understand strategy and you don't understand how to streamline stuff. So what you're doing is adding paperwork because you don't understand how to lead. Now, there's a difference between management and leading. A leader becomes accountable. A manager does operational things to keep the business flowing.
Direction, that's it. Dictate and direct.
You can't lead if you are someone who only understands how to manage something or somebody. And for me, how I look at somebody, if you can't manage yourself, please don't come over in this direction. And I'm talking personal and professional. That's got nothing to do, because I know that you can't take accountability, so please don't talk to me. And even down to relationships. I'm not looking for a man that is got 10 cars and 5 houses and he's doing investments, because that's not the reality of our life as we stand and live and breathe today. That's the reality of some people's life. But what I'm looking for is a man that has a growth mindset.
Willing.
Because a man that is going to listen.
Willing. They don't understand. See, the 5% of willing makes 40% good outcomes.
And the thing is, if you're a woman of integrity, not looking, these girls today, I'm sorry to say, right? Okay, I only wear lashes because of my hairdresser. My hairdresser's got, I'm competing with my hairdresser. When she has lashes, she's so gorgeous, right? We go out, she's beautiful, right? So when I do my own podcast, do this, I put lashes on as a homage to her, right? But when you've got claws that look like ashes, you're inflating your lips, you're inflating your bum. Look, if you've had children and your boobs are hitting the ground, listen, I will encourage you to do what you need to do now, right? If you want to do a bit of lipo, but do not make your body the reason someone talks to you. Make your mind the reason someone engages and maintains you.
The energy that you bring to the room when you step in, make that your attraction. Make your posture, your pose,
tell it.
Do you know your tone, the way you address a man talking to you?
And also, what I think is really disgusting is how people talk to each other If a guy approaches me, I'm not going to be like, what are you talking to? No, you're like, okay, let me hear what he's, I'm always
Went out
open.
and I thought it's like, I went out, it was just, went out. And when I saw like 2 or 3 guys, different ways approach women by grabbing them by their throat.
Grabbing who?
Like just grabbing them by their throat. But it's a,
Was you at the S&M dungeon?
no. But it seemed like, I don't know if it's because of certain, I don't know, but that was their approach.
Grab you by your throat.
The girls might have been, a little tipsy, was a bit tipsy. I was thinking like, rah, from my time to this time, you're walking past me, you're going to grab me on my phone to approach me and talk to me.
Let me tell you.
Now, maybe because you might like to get grabbed by your throat in the bedroom. But how the hell can you walk up to me and grab me by my throat and expect me to talk? As a man, don't even come and breathe in my ear too much. Don't come with that. They got a mind how you run up.
Let me tell you how man used to roll back in the day, because I like old school men, like men that, excuse me, and I'm like, yes, how can I? Because I'm not going to be rude to you if you're going to talk to me with respect. Guys, if you were at a rave, right, and the men used to be clever, they'll hang out nearer the entrance and the toilets, right? But now, I don't know what's with guys. They dance together and they're all in some corner. That's just all different, but that's not what I'm into. So this is how real men, in my opinion, used to roll. They will see you, they like you, right? And then what would happen is that they will just slide their hand on your arm just to let you know they're interested. And they will whisper in your ear, can I talk to you, please? Men will be kind enough to offer you a drink.
It's not that time,
right?
Like, that one.
You know, this is why I'm happy and I'm single.
It's not even a good for me to cut you. There is actually like young gentlemen that actually is raised that way, and their approach is so cute and and then the girls are just gonna look at him like, you idiot, like you're poaching me. Like that. It's like, or like I would have really looked after you, really would.
You know something? We are so influenced. This is why we don't take accountability for our own life. We're so influenced by what's out there and on social media. And when you said something about the event Ignite, you didn't have any influencers. I don't even know any influencers. And to be quite honest, I'm not interested in influencers because I've got 2 masters and I have a degree in journalism, have a master's in executive coaching and an MBA. I don't need to influence anyone. I walk into a room, I walk into ITV and they listen to what I say. That's the influence that I have. So I'm not interested in and then I'm pretending, and then next minute I take my lashes and my wig off and I'm depressed.
That's what was kind of hard for me to start. Because as much as, I did cancers is always going to be kind of the core of the conversations, and because that's what got me to this place. It's hard for me sometimes to see there's so much like women doing great stuff in the cancer community. Like,
absolutely.
They're doing some great stuff. But it's hard sometimes to watch some just do it and just because a skin company's got to put a pink ribbon on. Or for me, I'm just saying for me, I don't offend no one. But I had to find an approach that I could do the IG thing and probably post up every day and get all the likes and all the whatever, and get blue ticks or whatever it is. But you see, after I've done all the influential stuff and I've taken your skin products and I'm using them and the makeup and I'm ambassador for you guys, Black women still get diagnosed very late.
Yes.
There's still discrimination wherever we go.
Yes.
People have to start opening like inclusion businesses inside of businesses to make nurses and all other people and charity workers and that understand that we're different. So it's like I said, I can't do it by myself, and I hope there's a community that can help, like even for me in my recovery center with what I want to do. I don't mind, it's all nice getting sponsors and all that, but where's the real change? Because it's going to be 1 in 2 people soon in my community, my culture. And this is right across BAME. I'm not even talking about, I don't even like to use the word BAME, but it's right across BAME. Yeah? I don't care what tone, where, my people, it's going to be 1 in 2 people. And whereas we don't have time, we're still procrastinators. Like, I'm doing my cleansing capsules. I've kind of gone off track, but I'm doing my cleansing capsules, and there's people that's inquiring about these capsules. Now, you will take diabetic tablets to lose weight. You will pump foreign stuff in your lips. You will put string things in your nose. You put Botox in your face. Me with my little natural remedy, lymphatic drainage massages and my tension release and my nice natural facials and doing my herbal cleanses. You're asking me 151 questions about these herbs that grew out of the ground that I've gone on a plane to go and get and harvest. Hold on, come back. And you're asking me 150 questions, but you're not asking the girl what's putting the injecting in your face every couple of weeks. You're not asking her what's in it. You're not asking her what's in it. You're taking all these different tablets. Your mind's not even functioning with your cycle, nothing. But you're asking me 151 questions about my natural herbs that I grow under the sun.
But
that's hard.
Remember,
it's so hard to swallow.
The only person that is responsible for themselves is them.
Right.
And their accountability is not internal, it's external. And this is what we're talking about when you talk about influencers. They're listening to someone who's not got any education in whatever they're talking about. They've not studied the craft for 15 years. They've just popped on, and now I can tell you, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And because, listen, there was a time I was on London Underground and 2 black girls came on, sat down. I didn't know either of them, and they didn't know each other, but they looked like sisters because they had the same lashes, the same jacket, long coated brushing,
body hair, body done in the same bum thing at the side, and then the exhaust.
You know what? I sat down and I said to myself, wow, back in the 90s, right? Let me tell you what girls used to do.
And the body, but still, everybody looks the same.
In the 90s, in the 90s, if me and you were rolling, you had to have the baddest finger wave and I had to have the baddest crochet. Whatever your vibe was, you needed to be 9-bolt up on that.
Style and pattern. You had your own style. You come out and you drop it. Right. Your style is your style. My style is my style. Your style is that's the crew. Everyone.
And everyone knew. Like, they'll be like, you know, the one with the finger wave, I like her, or the one with, they knew who to have. But now, when all girls, if you guys were out, if men were out there.
And all of them not the same.
Yeah, so how are you going to differentiate them?
There's 26 heads over there. There's 40 Cardis. There's a couple of city girls there.
And the thing is, I want to say that none of us.
And I'm prepared to get myself in now.
No, but none of us are hate. It's nothing to do with
hating. It's nothing to do with putting all these foreign stuff in it, and then things can happen. They can trigger other stuff. And if your mind's not right on top of all these stuff, this is why we get illnesses. And some people might say, oh, because you had it, it doesn't mean I'm gonna have it. Wait until it licks someone that you know, or you have to witness it yourself, because if it's going to be 1 in 2 people and they're saying it's normal, and we're just letting it fly past our head and just talking about, oh, because this man influences and that one does, but we don't have the machine work, we still don't have the diagnosis. We can't even fly back home to our house, back home to where we come from and know that the women can get diagnosed as well. So these charities and these people are flying out worldwide doing all this stuff to stick a pink ribbon on something, but there's still not radiation machines where we come from. There's not a place that we can go where we can actually be seen and diagnosed in a matter of time.
And we need to be advocates. This is another thing, is that there's...
I'd see it. There is advocates as well, but it's like they're not. It's like there's 1 or 2, don't get me wrong,
if there is a collective and people work as a unit, if we don't start collaborating, we're going to lose a lot of currency in health.
And I feel like no one ain't noticed that we're losing it already. Like I said, we're running out of time.
So, you want to talk to me about Dubai?
I wanted to, definitely, but
we've run out of time.
So, we went to Dubai. When it wasn't the Dubai as we know it.
Yeah, it was 2006.
What made you have that decision and go there?
So if anyone's was born in the 1900s, okay. You remember Orange Wednesdays? I used to be the only person in the office making sure that you're getting your 2-for-1 tickets. And it's just me and my director in Soho. But I had worked in TV, then I moved in. That was film, and it was so boring. And I just felt like I wasn't growing in London. Anytime I worked for a TV company, Discovery or Disney or wherever, just as a black woman, we just weren't getting recognition or moving up. So I saw an advert for some sand in TV. I'm like, why not? So I moved to Bahrain first.
Okay.
And listen, I want to thank God for the US military, because they are situated in Bahrain. There's a base. And I dated an American military guy for 2 years. He was amazing, like a great person. I wasn't in love, so I was okay to move forward when I moved to Dubai. But I was still working in the TV industry. And Dubai, what I'm going to say may surprise people, but Dubai is not somewhere I would say as a black woman, if you are single, do not go and live there. It's a very lonely place.
Okay.
And I spoke to somebody today, and it was by chance I met her. I've never met her before. She's married with children. She left after a year. She's like, this place, it's very expensive to live in Dubai. And I think people misinterpret Sunshine and one road, Sheikh Zayed Road. They think that it's so fancy that that's all of Dubai. Now, the UAE is the country. Dubai is a city. Now, people are that uneducated. They think Dubai is a
Good country. Okay.
right? So you've got you've got Abu Dhabi, you've got Sharjah, you've got Al Qasam, you've got Ras Al Khaimah, and there's another couple, 2 more, 3 more different emirates. That's what makes the United Arab Emirates.
Okay.
But I moved out there because I got a management role in TV, and I wanted to grow up, and I wanted to be in an environment where I had no comfort zone. I've always been that person. I would push myself. I had a team of 30 people. And they were Bahrainis the first time. And that was really, Bahrain was beautiful, beautiful place. People are very kind. When you meet people from Kuwait, it's just a really relaxed place to live. And I was always, I had a flat just facing the water. And when I moved to Dubai, I got a promotion with a new company. So I moved there. Dubai's like it's on steroids. You know, it's like, you can't, let me just be real. It's like people that can't make it in the UK. Not everyone there, you both like, as Nigerians call it.
Yeah.
I'm not Nigerian, by the way. But they can't make it here. So they go over there and they act like the big men. I know a woman that she's probably earning about 200-300K because she works in investment finance. I met her in 2020. She goes, I'm going to move to Dubai. I'm going to be with my husband and he's a scientist. So it's like, you need to be very mindful that this is not the experience you think it's meant to be. She lasted 4 months and came back because an English guy was trying her as her boss. But you are not as this is the problem. It's the same nonsense that's going on for our community in workplaces where you're more educated and qualified than the person who's running the department, but they're trying to now manage you. And she is a feisty character in the sense she knows her stuff and she's confident. You drive Sheikh Zayed Road, there's 4 tolls. So every toll you got under, you got to pay a fee. If you're paying for water and electricity, you have to pay 70, is it 5% or of your entire rent for the year. There's a lot of ways that it's an expensive place to live. And if you are not earning probably 100, 125,000 and above, forget going to live out there. If you're a teacher, they'll give you accommodation, but the accommodation will be in the bush. And then you have to come and find some broke down car to drive down to the school. So let's not pepper living out of there.
You know, and as much as I've always wanted to go, I've never been, but and sometimes it's like, I don't want to go where I can't be free. I think I'm too busy to go to West Indies and be free. You know, can't do that. No. Be this way. Yes, and I don't, you know what? I've got a little thing, I think with my growth and maturity, I've got a little thing about men that don't respect women.
No, I'm going to squash all of that. That's all nonsense. The Middle East, people are not treating you differently because if you misbehave, let me tell you something, the police don't disturb nobody unless you really create a scene. So sometimes when I'm seeing these stories, I'm telling you now, the police do not go out of their way to make your life hell. I've had run-ins with the police. The police actually helped me when someone tried to attack me. They were like, we're not having it. Because when they saw my title, so I was just dressed in jeans and flip-flops, or as they say in Ghana, chalawote, right? So I'm in jeans, flip-flops and a white t-shirt. I'm trying to get my car out of the port because I shipped it from one country to the other. And some guy tried me, right, and tried to be abusive. But I think he thought I was some immigrant with no papers. When they found out what company I worked for, what my title was, and the fact I was British, the way the police, they were being so nice to me. And so there was one guy, the police officer, looked like ushers. I took out my hair and I flicked it and I was crying. They're like, don't worry, we're going to take care of you. And I was like, but I thought, you know what? Let's just turn on the tears and I need to be protected, right? Yeah. The police, when you've been done wrong, they don't treat you badly. So I want to just say that there's none of this men treat women badly. There's none of that. There is a cultural difference, but people keep to their own cultures out there. So this is why when people think, oh, you know, as I'm saying, it's lonely because it's hard to make friends. And then when you're making friends,
It's not a multicultural place. Everyone
It is.
to their own.
it is, but you are segregated because you may be British, they hang out with the Brits.
That's
and
what I'm
maybe
saying.
they-
It's not multicultural where like here, you can go out, you can have all different
English,
races, Chinese, Turkish, we're all together.
you do, but I find that people
They
flock to their own.
Yeah.
So it's like at lunchtime. So when I was in my MBA, I wrote my proposal. They rejected it, but I wanted to talk about how cultures, even though they're in a new culture, they still segregate.
Yeah. I noticed that. No,
But it's all
my
tribal.
nationality.
It's all
Everyone
based
has
on
their-
tribe.
Yeah, they have all their different tribes.
So I understood it, but I thought in the workplace, I had people from the Philippines that I was managing in Dubai, and my team was smaller because I was working the leadership team of that broadcaster. And she said, when I was doing the appraisal, I want to learn about more cultures. I said to her, if you're having lunch with only Filipinos, I'm just trying to understand how you're going to learn about other cultures. Don't make the effort to build friendships with people from different nationalities. You know, I had people from Egypt, Lebanon, Morocco, Iraq, and I went to a lot of people's homes and they treated me like royalty Arab. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I would never sit here and say people are horrible.
Yeah.
But how British people in some British people behave when they're out there, they act like they're better than they actually are. They overvalue themselves. And the thing is,
So it's like the excitement that they're actually there to actually get to Dubai and be able to be part of the culture. It makes it.
it goes to people's sense.
Okay.
Because the thing is, you've been lying in your interview. So even the woman that I was talking to, the man a guy that she knows moved there, he got fired from a school. Now he's moving to Dubai to work in the school. So now you're going to come and create a new version of yourself. So this is the thing that I'm not interested. I was very alone because I was doing my MBA at the time of the university in the UK, but I was alone and I purposefully didn't mix with too many people. And the people I did mix with, 15 years later, 20 years later, we're still friends. Good. Actually, 19 years later, we're still friends. Because one of them is an international lawyer and she's French and she lives in Paris, and I was there literally a few months ago.
Yeah.
I see her all the time. I actually just bought some footwear and sent it to her flight. See how it goes, or she messaged me. Another friend's in Canada. So, and these people, I'm very selective with who I become friends with. They're all different cultures. They're not Ghanaian or British. They're from different parts of the world. I still am friends with people from Bahrain, and notably one of the people that worked with the admiral of the US military. So for me, I'm very selective just because, and don't think that if you've got a fast card that it's alone. When I opened my business bank account, my work bank account, they offered me 4 credit cards. I gave them back 2. I said, one with a small amount and one with a big amount. Because what is easy out there is you can get in debt that you're showing off to people that don't even care about you.
I'll talk about that with the last one. The keeping up with the Joneses is just a lot of hard work.
No, but the thing
And
is,
it's
you've
not
got to love
figuring
yourself.
it.
This is why you're doing this show. It's about self-love. Love yourself enough to know that the only person you need to be impressed in is the person that was you were yesterday. I need to be better than the person I was yesterday. I not need to be competing with you. I need to be competing with myself.
Right. And it's just being a bit accountable, man. Trust me. It just makes such a big difference.
And the thing is, let me be real. When you work and live out there, right? What is nice is the lifestyle is different. You come home from work, it's not miserable and cold. It's still sunny, so you don't even know what to do with yourself. It's so nice. You're just like, and the funny thing is, I never went to the pool in my building. I was there 4.5 years. I used the gym. I'm a gym girl, so I'll be in the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I remember one of my neighbors, we hadn't been for about 2 months, right? Both of us. And I was studying a lot, and I saw her in the lift. I said, "Have you been?" She said, "No." You know, we even embarrassed to tell each other, confess, accountability, that we haven't been to the gym. But the thing is, we both were busy with work. I didn't know her well. So, and another friend who lives in the UK now, I met in my building, and my friend from Paris, that we're all living in the same building. And what was funny, about 5 years ago, I had a birthday party, and my friend from Paris, we come from Jamaica at a time, and then she was here in London. So we all hung out and I had a little get together in Warren Street at a wine bar. And when they saw each other, I just stood back and watched how they really got excited because we all lived in the same building together. So this is the thing, right? Living there is not the same as going on holiday. And it is hella hot, but I don't mind the heat personally, right? And I think in the years that we're living in today, it's changed. But I think it's very expensive. And I think if you're going to go out and you're going to make a decision to live anywhere in the world, what it is a game changer for your mindset. Because you learn a lot about who you are and who you are not. If you're wise enough to really take the lesson, instead of going, look, they have clubs out there, people drink, people enjoy themselves. You can wear bikini on the beach. You can hold your man's hand. You just have to respect yourself. That's why people get in trouble. They're not respecting themselves. So that's what I want to just be clear that it's not a bad place to live, but if you ain't got money, don't go and pretend to be flossing on loans.
Yeah.
That's nonsense to me.
How was it working in places, being as a black woman, like before it was?
To be very honest,
It's because everything's like diverse now. Everyone has inclusion and
like, listen, I like to dress up, right? And I have to say, if you do watch my podcast, this is one of my favorite dresses. So you're going to see it a few times because you know when you like something and you look dope in it, you're like, yeah, let me enjoy it. I'm like Tiffany Haddish. She wore one dress she wore to every award. Yeah, that's me with this dress, right? It wasn't too great, but
that's where, yeah. That's
shopping your wardrobe, because I've got so many clothes. Like, I probably wear this more often than 80% of the clothes in my wardrobe. And a lot of them, I even found clothes with still tags on it. I'm like, but
as we do.
yeah, I need to enjoy these. But I don't shop. I shop probably once every 5 years and I do a whole big shop and then enjoy it. But Dubai is a great place in terms of, to me, as a woman, relaxing. Okay. When you go to the salon, Bahrain's better, in my opinion, on so many levels. It's the food. To me, this is just to me. Yeah. And I'm not cussing any of the UAE, but I think the food is much fresher in Bahrain. Okay. I think Bahrain, listen, when you got the US military and let me tell you one thing, right? I went to a club, so I got to just show off, right? So we were at a club, right, with all the black military, and Walk It Out comes on. Walk It Out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So one of the lieutenants wanted to compete with me, and sometimes you walk past and they'll be like, she's from London, man. She's from London. And you're just like, yeah, let me show them how we do it in London.
Yeah, like we don't know.
I competed with them. The guy was so tired by the time I'd walked it out. I think they were saying to the guy was there, your girl, damn, man. I'm like, yes, I am back. Like, I'm gangster. And the thing
about the Americans think that English people are all Harry Potter, innit? They're just tea and crumpets.
Yes, exactly. So, and also in the Middle East, I think now is different, but I was asked quite a few times, I didn't know there was black people in the Middle East, even by black Americans at the military base. Black people in the UK, sorry. And in my mind, I'm like, this is really odd. But also, it's an education for them. So I would say when you are anywhere in the world, now because of me, I know people, when I worked in that company, I was doing my MBA, all of a sudden, after the CEO, because I really loved my CEO, he was great. And after he knew I was doing my MBA, I'd go to his office because I had to do assignments. So I had to just question him. And plus, I was part of the leadership team. So he was really receptive to my feedback. And he actually took it on board. One time he tried to call me at my desk, cussing me out. I said, you need to take it from a 10 to a 2. And you need to relax before you even start talking. Do you leave? You know, no, I'm not into all that. Oh. To me, if you are rubbish at your job, you're always going to threaten and leave because you ain't got nothing else. There's no reason you should be there. To me, if you start doing that, don't work to begin with. If you're dope at what you do, you know how to resolve any conversation with any level in your organization. But he was cool because there was something that someone was putting something on air. My responsibility was making sure the program started on time and the promotions and all that. Not knowing this girl kept putting it back on air. So I kept saying, I've taken it off. And then he's saying he's seen it on air. So I said to my team, what's going on? One of the girls said, again, I had to teach one Arab girl accountability. She said, it's me. I said, it's cool, but I'm glad you now told me because I was looking crazy.
Yeah.
She said, I'm so sorry. But she told me I taught her how to be accountable.
You do.
I say, listen.
Sometimes you can just ask one question and it will just really make you have to evaluate your whole.
No, let me tell you something.
And it's a good thing because not a lot of people can do that without you getting offensive. I don't know how to deliver that way where people don't get offended. Sometimes my delivery is too cutthroat.
I've been doing this for a while. And I understand what makes people trigger.
Yeah, it took me that's what I'm saying. It took me a long time to understand that you can't always give out what some people can't. So let's say like someone could be always like, what's wrong with you? Fix up yourself. But the moment you say, what's wrong with you? Fix up yourself. They don't know how to take it. Not everyone can take what they give out.
But let me just make one thing.
So when you start to mirror people, it's kind of hard.
I mirror you if I need to mirror you. Let me make that clear. You come at me crazy, I'll come at you double crazy. And the thing about me, my double crazy is silence. Because you don't know what's next.
I learned that, yeah.
Because you don't need to speak every time you don't need to react every time someone acts like it.
I don't even say how more. I don't even get myself involved. How about if something, a situation is going to happen, be honest. I so don't even ask a question. It is not my business.
And that's the one thing. That is it. When I was in Bahrain, when I was dating I want to call him Casey. I was going to say his name, but when I was there, he looked, unfortunately, he looked a bit like Diddy. He had such a beautiful smile. He had big teeth, right, and a big head, I thought. But he was a kind soul, kind soul. And one time I was involved, I think somebody was getting into drama and I was trying to support and help. And then one time he said, you know what? I'm going to say something, you don't get offended, but you should mind your own business. I tell you something, that changed my life. Because if I was involved with something, the first thing I ask myself is, what's it my business? And if it's not my business, I need to mind my business.
I learned the hard way, mind your business.
And the thing,
because sometimes people put you in a box, you know.
No, but you know what? One thing I have to say, we have to start learning from other people's mistakes.
That's what I said. Yes.
Because and you know when I learned this around 18, 19 when I used to watch Oprah. Oprah was my coach. She didn't even know it. And Young Van Zandt.
She is my,
and I'll tell you, at 6,
I came in contact with her at 25.
14 or 15 years old, on Choice FM, Angie Greaves, I won a Youngler's Acts of Faith.
When she came to that the one time the UK.
No. Angie Greaves on Choice FM was giving it away. Yeah. And the question was, when was Nelson Mandela freed from prison? And I went downstairs, looked at the videotape because I'd recorded it. And then I remember it was 14th of February, 1990. And I said that and I won it. And even someone from school said, I heard you on Choice FM this morning. I read that book like there was no tomorrow, but the book that saved me and changed who I was. I was about 22 and it was so racist working in TV off Tottenham Court Road in London. Then I read Until Today. I stopped blaming everyone. And that is where my accountability and self-love journey started. I have encountered so many demons, but I tell you now the person I stand today, when you do me wrong, it comes back to you times 10 because karma is not asleep. But I don't have time to worry about the wickedness you're doing. I've got time to focus on the good I'm projecting.
Yeah.
So once we're done, as I'm done with you, I know that you can walk past me. We don't know each other because that energy is not something
easy.
That
is so easy.
Oh my God. And I'm the kind of person, I don't block you. I don't block you because I want you to see all this. What am I blocking you for? Let me let you enjoy what you've missed out on.
If I change my number or I do whatever I'm doing, if you're not part of that season, or you know.
I don't change my number anymore because I keep cutting good people off but not realizing. And then people I tried to call you, I've tried to find you. Yeah. Someone's from Saudi Arabia, one of the Iraqi boys that took me to their family home for lunch in Bahrain in 2006, messaged me end of last year to say, I'm in Saudi, I've missed you. I know I've been looking for you for years.
Look at that.
So this is what I'm saying to you. That's why I can't keep changing my deals. If someone does me wrong, they're doing a disservice to themselves. And that's how you have to look at it. You don't need to do anything wicked to them.
Everyone that's kind of did me wrong, I've left them. I haven't fought fire with fire. I've left that a long time ago, even before I was sick. I watched them be glorified when I was sick. I watched them watch me. I watched till I've recovered now. And now you tell me,
well done. Hi. Is that right? That's it. And you know one thing I love about you? When we had that conversation, we were in prayer.
Yeah.
We had fire in your belly. And I'm thinking and I'll tell you something, right? I meet a lot of people that talk a good game.
Yeah.
And I'm the kind of person, I'm like, okay. When I saw you did your first episode, I said, you know what? I like this girl. Because she's been punched, pushed, beaten, scratched, disrespected. But you still stand in your power. And that to me is self-love. You're being accountable. You know how many people I roll with that talk like you? Literally everybody. I don't roll with people. And the thing is, I can be in a negative space if I'm really low and I might talk, but I want people around me to be like, listen, I know you're not in a good space now, but it's going to change.
Yes.
Because one thing we both know, it can't rain forever.
And if you sit down in the rain, it's just going to drench you. So just keep walking. Because sometimes the rain will catch up to you and pass over your head and you're dry and you can see the rain down the road, you know.
One thing my mom said to me, right?
Because sometimes you can see rain coming. So it's up to you. You want to wait till the rain come, or you want to go inside and shake shelter? What do you want to do?
My mum said to me, don't let life beat you.
Yeah, and I used to do that. And cancer taught me, you ain't got time for that. You have to get up and fight this. And you can do, see, when life shows you a biggest fight and then you fight it and you do it gracefully without trying to knock as much people down or use it as an excuse to hurt people, create things, destruction. When you don't take that route and then you overcome it, it takes time because your trauma and your body and your mind.
And that's okay.
But when you get to that point, like I said, like I got to that, life can't strip me no more.
Right? And that's like, listen, let me tell you, right?
You're never gonna go without. You're not gonna end up getting that bad to you walking on the street with no clothes. You're not gonna be naked. You can have no clothes and still be naked, you know? Yeah. But you're not gonna get to that point.
And you know what's important?
And everything you try, it happens. So why you keep overthinking?
You know, but what's important is that faith of a mustard seed. But you know what I laugh about is when people, like my cousin, she goes to church, right? And she just has, I don't really think this is going to work out. And I said, so I don't understand why you go to church if you don't even believe. Because if we truly believe there's a higher power, last year, it was just me and God.
You have to get that reflection time, down.
And you know what? Until yesterday, I cried. I ain't cried. I tried to cry quite a few times. And nothing come out. And I'm like, please. But it's nothing's coming out. And I'm like, okay, let me stop trying to do fake tears. But yesterday when I cried in that room, I felt like
a release.
I've been so tired for so long. And the thing is, as a Black woman, you just want to sink into a beautiful Black man and just want someone to love you in that moment. And when I tell friends that I got a friend, she's a new friend and she's happily married. Me and her were going through similar challenges. And I said to her, but you know what? You got someone to cry to. And I tell people, if you got a good man or you got a good woman, don't take it for granted. No, but seriously, don't take it for granted.
I'm so thankful because no matter what, he's
got you.
I don't even know. It's for me knowing who he is and having to like suck up a lot of stuff, and even with my illness and be there to like, whereas and ain't left and watch me in my lowest, watch me in my ugliest.
That's love.
Yeah, and as much as I still had things that, like I said, with accountability, and it still festered up things that I accepted from before and allowed to happen, and I'm feel like if I don't allow you to do that, probably wouldn't have been sick in the first place. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I should have told you F off from there. But I'm happy that I didn't, and it's and for me, my relationship works for me, innit?
Absolutely, and it
might look orthodox to some other people, it might look but it works for us, and because we've taken accountability, both of us, it's easier to grow. It's easier to have more conversations. So we're going to have bad habits and we're still going to trigger each other sometimes, but it's allowed that accountability and left the space for, all right then, where are we going from here?
Let me ask you a question. Give me an example of one of the biggest learning curves you took with your partner that changed how you saw him and realized that this is my guy.
I'm gonna say it. Brought it back up, but yeah. One of the changing points for me was me being in the most pain chemotherapy could have done to me. And one of the times I did it, I made my treatment take over me. So for 7 days I haven't eaten. It's gone past me bringing up the bile of my stomach. I have to be a bit detailed. I'm being straight up. And being so weak and feeble. And him picking me up and still getting me in the bath to wash me or to change my bed sheets or to watch me like deteriorate. No hair, no eyelash, no eyebrow, no skin properly, no nails, not me. Staying up for days, not closing my eyes, because I feel like if I go sleep, I'm not going to see him and my kids them again. I'm not going to see no one again. I can't sleep. Frightened to sleep. But to know that, and sometimes like, get up, sir. Come on, you're still beautiful. You're still, even though I know like he's thinking, I can't even touch it because her skin's so sore right now. Or but you're still beautiful. Come on, going out. We're doing. Come on, mate. We're going out with the kids. We're going to the park. Even if I have to sit and watch them play. Wrap up, still go watch them play. He's still done it. He's still there today. As much as he wasn't strong in certain ways, because you have to accept that not everyone's 100% package. He has his own traumas. He has his own way he was brought up. He has his own way. So certain things he's not quick on, or what I will feel like just to think. But to know them little things there for me, letting me know like all the dumb other stuff I was moaning about.
Look at that.
It's not. And on top of that, it definitely solidified that this is my brethren.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm trying to say? This is my brethren. Before anything else, this is my brethren. Because I've sat down with big women, married, big, well off, big house, husband, everything. Got cancer, man going through the door. Can't take his woman looking a funny way. Gonna find next girl out the road, cheating and all these things. And it happens. Because not everyone's mature enough to handle these type of things. And this is why I'm saying, like, we haven't got enough time to be procrastinating. I'm going to keep saying it. And being on petty stuff and worrying about stupid things and killing ourselves in debt for clothes to make it look good. All of them things that buy fruit. Go and buy 2 supplements. Go and take a massage. How about go on a holiday where you don't take no picture?
You know what, right?
Yeah? You don't do no tourist, nothing. You sit down with yourself on a river and you cry and take accountability, and you and God take a proper wash off. Don't go to funny people and a guard ring and a blue soap and all this foolishness. They take a wash off with yourself, sit down with yourself. Read a book, lock off your phone. I went to Jamaica for 3 months. I locked myself off. No kid, no friend, no phone, no nothing. And I took accountability. And enough times out of that fear, I had to get up on a Sunday and go sit down in the river and cry for 3 hours if I have to. And me and God talk until God starts to show me signs. Until I start feel like this is what the real walking in testimony and faith feels like. Till like you get up in the morning and you feel like I'm putting on my clothes, I'm going here, but God said that don't feel right, and I'm trusting this instinct. Now let me go left. See when I go left. You see the person I meet when I go left. I got a garden now full of herbs where I can just fund people. I can make my capsules. I can go over and drink my tonics. I can take my time out and do whatever. And anyone needs help, I can source my stuff behind the scenes and do what I have to do. It's because I listened to him. I sat down with him. I take time for myself. I cleared out my toxic environment, my atmosphere, everything. Lock off. New friend don't want to walk the right path. God. He make on what I'm on. God. Anything. Food, thing.
I can guarantee many people around you thought you were mad.
Yeah.
Like, that's normal.
Yeah.
And the thing is, everyone's healing looks different. And the thing is, if someone doesn't understand your journey, no one cares, because the only person who needs to understand your journey is you. It might look crazy to someone else, but it feels right for you.
There's always a method to my madness. I touch with you. What she did? Oh, why could she do this at that time? Should have done this instead of done that. Don't worry about it. I learned now there's a method to my madness.
Exactly. And the thing, standing in your power is being authentic, is taking accountability, is having self-love. And when you're powerful, you will irritate the spirit of the demon in others. And people will dislike your confidence. And I said to somebody, I had some friends from the Netherlands over in London last month, or even now 2 months ago, right? And this woman was like, people were saying, oh, look how you're dressed and blah, blah for the conference. Because this woman's in her 50s, but she's gorgeous. And actually, look, people think when I put her on my WhatsApp that it's me.
Yeah.
So we look like sisters, right? And I said to her, but because your confidence is offended insecurity, and so your power that comes from your core, no one can take it away from you. And the thing that I find really interesting is the moment you disassociate with someone. See, when people say to me, I want to be friends with you, usually I'm like, that's cool. And you know what happens? Then they abuse me. Because I don't fight for what's supposed to be mine. If you're meant to be in my life, this shouldn't be hard. This should not be hard. You contacting me and saying, can you come to the show? No problem. If I don't like you, it will be hard for me to be here.
Nobody have your contact.
Life doesn't need to be difficult. We as humans create the difficulty.
Yes. That's why, yes, it's just, yeah.
But you've done well, and you need to celebrate yourself.
Yes, and all that time to learn, because like you're saying, when it's a bit like that, I don't want to say that my surrounding is like that, because I don't always feel that way or feel like I've got anyone around me like that anymore, like I did. So I'm talking from
Previous,
to present now. I'm glad I don't have none of that, but that's where my survival has been. What I've had to learn, that I have to pat my own self on my back, because sometimes me having the strength to say, I'm not allowing nothing to affect me and I can still stay on the path where I want to go to. No one's going to tell me well done. Not everyone's going to say to me, do you understand? That's why me and you can have these deep conversations, and I can feel comfortable to have these conversations with you and meet up with you and talk, because it's a different conversation. You've held my hand in this episode. You've told me twice and I still don't know how to receive it. I'm being accountability, I'm being very vulnerable. Is why I'm even just remembering I have to say thank you, because we've carried on the conversation, because I still don't know how to receive it. I'm still learning in my big age.
So you remember.
But I'm still
Remember to stop learning.
Thank you.
You never stop growing.
Without every single line in my life, I would have got to this place where I can be vulnerable and talk about it. But before,
You couldn't.
when I would have been talking holy person, I would have been cancelled the first episode. Yeah, but lock down, no YouTube, no Instagram, nothing, censored, everything, block this girl out, lock her up.
But you know what, right? Remember, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And the person you are today, you're now and the thing is, you might think you don't know how to receive something. You've received it, you just don't know how to express your thanks. But you've thanked me, and you're welcome. Because not everybody has the confidence to show gratitude to someone else when they've done them good. And sometimes it's our ego that's in our own way. And we've got to stop blaming other people for why if we have multiple problems with multiple people, who is the common denominator?
Yourself.
So why do people, yeah, but you know what? Blah, blah did this to me. Well, maybe you're an idiot. Blah, blah did that to you. Or maybe you're slow. Blah, blah, because you're stupid.
To do it, yeah.
And that's in those scenarios. If you do something and I will say to you, you know what, Sue? You need to think about the outcome of what you truly want, rather than sit there and blame the person. Because if your behavior, let me tell you how it works. Your mind creates your behaviors that then create your habits. It's a triangle.
And sometimes it's what you feel in here. You can't, the words, the actions is always going to display what you feel here more than the words.
Your mind is what controls you.
Yeah, it's what's in there.
And if you don't realize that your behaviors become habitual, how are you going to break the habit? If you're not, this is why self-awareness is the fundamental element of accountability. You have to be aware of your own behavior to change it.
It's true. It's true. But for wrapping up, I would like to say thanks again.
You are welcome.
For coming.
You're welcome.
Hold guys, this is a lot of things resonating with you.
Oh.
I've had, all my mentors, my life coaches, and everyone, like I said from the beginning, who has contributed to my journey and where I am now, they're going to be on the show. So hope you enjoyed. The
Millennial Coach.
She said, say it right. So I'm saying it right, breaking it down. DA at the beginning on all socials. Thanks. Like, and subscribe. I got this, you've got this, and we've got this.
Amen.
So yeah, to the new year.
Happy New Year.
Me too. Thank you.